That's right. It's time for Catching Up with Carley, presented by Meijer. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by none other than Darren McCarty. How's it going, D-Mac?
Going good, Carly. Good to catch up with you.
Absolutely. I know we've gotten to talk a little bit in the past couple of weeks, but what have you been up to during these past couple months? Stay at home to stay busy.
Well, I tell everybody that my biggest discovery was that I have an introvert side. And who would have thought that, right? So I met my introverted side.
Luckily for you, having your own podcast is something you can do at home. Can you walk us through the creation and how your Grind Time podcast has been going?
Yeah, so grind time with Darren McCarty, and it's been interesting because everybody's had to learn to adjust. So we turned it instead of doing the transformation of the grind time episodes, which we can't do in studio. We've done them online. So I've done it, Tuesday and Thursdays or a couple times a week, and I call it 25 on 19 while we're in the COVID. So it's a little bit of a different format than what grind time is and what grind time will be. And it's pretty much when people say, what is grind time with Darren McCarty? And I say, it's mine. It's all about whatever I want to talk about. And usually it's all the things that I'm involved in. It's not just the sports, but we'll talk about that. Obviously, the wings and stuff is a big part, but there's so many other things that I'm involved in. You can see over my shoulder here, that's the Donnybrook. That's the Donnybrook comic book. That's my team I created, Burnaby Blazers, and it's stories, hockey stories. It's an adult comic book, so it's all the great junior stories and all the different stuff like that. Also, my book that I wrote 8 years ago, My Last Fight, True Story of a Hockey Rock Star, is being turned into a graphic novel, 150 pages. So we're working on that with some of the best artists around. So keeping busy with that. Obviously, the health and wellness and introducing people to how they can take care of themselves in all different ways. I've been fortunate enough where I have not with just a podcast, but on Friday nights from 7 to 8 o'clock. Now you have to listen carefully because it might shock a lot of people, but I have a show, the Darren McCarty Show on WJR, AM 760 from 7 to 8 on Friday nights with my buddy Sean Belegian.
Okay, let's talk about your playing days. You were drafted by the Red Wings in the 92 entry draft, selected 49th overall. What goes through your head as a young hockey player when you hear your name called by an original six team like the Detroit Red Wings?
Well, especially for me, growing up 40 minutes from the Joe, give or take 10 minutes for the border, and that was my team. And, people ask, well, why, how could you cheer the Red Wings when they were the Dead Wings back then? And I said, I had the Tigers, Lance Parrish, Kirk Gibson, and all those guys. So, and it was everybody else, all my cousins and friends were Montreal, Toronto fans. So I said, just, wait one day. And then Steve was there, and then Proby and Joey were beating everybody up, and it was awesome. And being a little kid I remember going to Olympia and going to Joe Louis. But, to have that sort of dream come true, it honestly, I still remember that those chills through your body of just excitement are really when you hear your name, and the fact to be Detroit, it couldn't be more than I could have asked for, and just to have the opportunity. And then what can I say? The way that everything played out, it's blessed in so many ways by the support of so many people.
And speaking of that year, you were called up by the Red Wings. You, Chris Osgood, and Chris Draper all got called up around the same time. This is something you talked about in your podcast. Was there a special bond formed between you guys all going through that transition into the NHL together?
Well, here's the thing, right? So Ozzy and I came in together in Adirondack that year. I lived upstairs. He lived downstairs. We played, and Mike Castleman, they lived together, and we would play Sega Genesis all night long and have a blast. So we formed our relationship really early. I made the team out of training camp when Scotty came in 93. So I didn't go down, but Ozzy and Drapes did. And then they came up about a month in or whatever. But Ozzy and I had already formed that relationship, and Drapes, when he came in, it was just, it was always the three of us. And then until Maltz came, and then Marty Lapointe was a big part, and then Dandy came along, and Kevin Hodgson, and more or less and that was we're the young bucks or whatever you want to call it compared, because if you look at the age group and the experience on the team. So that's why in all everything, why the three biggest moves for us to get over to finish off the recipe for Scotty was getting Shanny and then Larry, and then Joey Kosher and Larry, because Joey Kosher, we call him Papa, but he's the father of not just the grind line, but all us younger guys. And I like to say, Scotty came in, and he came in as the lion tamer or whatever, but he had invisible fencing on us, where he taught us how to be professional and pick our spots. And I'm speaking on myself more than Drapes or more than anything, because Drapes was always the responsible one. Drapes would always get in trouble for anything, and it was usually Ozzy that did it, not me, right? So it was, but it's the relationship and the different levels, but everybody, and it plays forward to this day. So it started back then, but it rings true, all the things, not just hockey, but life we've all been through, and we're still here busting each other's chops any chance we get.
Constantly. I know it too. Okay, fast forward to 1997. I can't interview you without asking about, of course, the infamous fight night at the Joe when you caught revenge against Colorado Avalanche's Claude Lemieux. Okay, what happened? Can you walk me through that fight? I know the whole thing with Draper, but tell me what was going through your mind. I want to see it from your point of view.
Well, the brilliance of it, right here, Carly, you got to understand, and to say it, it's things in life and things in hockey, right? Mm-hmm. Happen, and we regret it or we feel bad for it, right? But you can never lose respect for a fellow human being. And when Claude Lemieux hit Chris Draper from behind and then did not apologize and then said he never would have hurt a Chris Draper if he didn't do that, and anyways, he probably just made Draper millions of dollars. Right. So to me, as the character of the man that I am and the way that I was raised, that's really wrong. So not only that, but do I get to stew over this for 10 months? And you hear, if you see the Russian Five, or you hear when guys talk about it, we never talk about it. And the only thing ever was said was by me when I picked Drapes up at the hospital and said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. I mean, it's like the bully, or it's like the rivalry with the high school, or everybody has that rivalry that you have to win the game. That was the most important. Now, granted, if no matter what would have happened, he was going to get it. I'm on the ice. I see him hit him. I look over and go, oh, man, it looks like puppies on Christmas morning. That's so cute. And then I realize, oh, we're in this. I see Lemieux, and I'm looking, and I know I'm going to get him. Unfortunately, Adam Foote with the big nose has me, and he's really strong. But then Shanny comes flying in and double chops me, and I elude the linesman, and I just pop out. And that's the difference between a cold cock and a sucker punch. Cold cock from behind, no good. 99.6% of the time, the other 0.4, they deserved it. But a cold cock, and how many times have I seen that face, Carly, over the previous 10 months of what I was going to do? Right, and here is the kicker. Everybody watch my fights. I'm a lefty. I hit him so hard. The right's harder, as it proved to be, but I never hit anything on the button like that. It felt like when you hit the perfect golf shot and it just doesn't, you don't even feel the ball off your club. That was his face. But for all that to happen, and I don't realize till the goalie, so I'm watching the video after that, all this stuff's going on around me. And that's great and all that. Then we're down 5-3, right? We have to still win the game. I'm not saying that if the butt kicking wouldn't have meant something, but we had to win the game. We were able to tie it up, and the whole kicker to the whole thing, the whole God shot, the whole everything is the game scored an overtime winner, which we know in hindsight, because hindsight's great when it's positive, that led to the cup and led to the goal. And the one time I beat one guy one-on-one. It's just, you got to do it for timing, guys. It's timing.
There you go. Exactly. All right. Well, Darren, you're a man of the fans, truly the most personable guy I know. Do you have a message for all the fans watching this at home?
Yeah, just hopefully everybody has been able to stay safe and healthy out there, and just get ready. I think that one of the things is that moving forward is that all of us can take a look and maybe listen a little bit more, and just, I always say, here it is, right? look, don't ever lie to that person that you look at in the mirror. And when you can be honest to that person, right, then you can start. And it's good. It's not about good, bad, or indifferent or how you look. And it's with that person. And when you can have a relationship with that person, then you have a chance. And we're going to always be around promoting. There's so many great things, especially like just in the Red Wing world, but also in Detroit. And everybody out there, it's that, it's that connection. I tell everybody, and it's the truth. I'm a battery. You guys are all my power. I can't wait to get out there and see you again.
That's awesome. I love that. Tuesday Words of Wisdom by DMAC. That was amazing. Darren, once again, I can't thank you enough for your time and for being on Catching Up with Carley, presented by Meijer. Take care, and I hope to see you very, very soon.
You betcha, Carley. We'll see you soon, and go Wings.
Go Wings.